Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the no, not the other side of the coin. Ms. TV Total Football. I was going to say welcome back to the other side of the coin. This is Ms. TV Total Football. Get it right, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Arsenal flavor of news is upon us. And I'm delighted. I'm very delighted for you Arsenal fans. So delighted, more than you can believe. Because do you know what? You're going after a striker that I'm not actually worried about it too much. And I have a sense of feeling that this could be a flop signing. I don't know. Maybe it could be a flop signing. I'm hoping it's probably a flop signing, and it has a recipe for next season that you're probably going to bottle it all over again. And there's some rumors, ladies and gentlemen, and correct me if I'm wrong. The word is Arsenal still see Kai Havertz, the big Kai Havertz, the German star. They still see him as the number 9. They still see him as the main striker. I love it. These are the kind of news that I breathe and I just cherish on a regular basis, to see Arsenal move in this manner. Look, Arsenal Football Club, on a serious note, if you consider Kai Havertz still to be your number 9 next season, boy, oh boy, you are not winning anything. And on top of that, you're going for someone like Benjamin Sesko. We're going to go with the news very, very soon. Project type of a striker. Yeah, I'm not worried about you lot next season. I know Chelsea, we're probably nowhere near competing for the title as yet, depending on what we do for the rest of the window. But you guys were probably just one striker away from really, really going after the Premier League title. I know this season that has just finished, you guys were primed to, capitalize. You didn't. Liverpool took over. But we saw your biggest issue was up front. Your biggest issue was not having a striker and relying on Kai Havertz to deliver 20-plus goals, which is insane. And not just the striker positions. I think you guys lack in wingers as well. You need at least one more winger that's going to be able to bang in goals and help out Bukayo Saka. It seems like it's all Saka at the moment, and it's not gonna run this way all the time. You can't just have one player carrying the entire show. The rest of the team is actually quite nice. Your midfield is good with Odegaard, with Declan Rice, with Merino, with Zubimendi being added on as well. Your defense is good with Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. News coming up, but these players are not going to stick around with your football club too much longer if you're not serious and getting some trophies. You're not even getting any trophies at the moment. Forget about Premier League title or Champions League, titles. You're not even picking up any domestic cups either. So I think next season could be the final year for Arteta, if I'm being absolutely honest. I mean, he should have already been gone. In the last 5 seasons, he's won nothing. He's only got one FA Cup to show for, and that was right at the beginning. And to be honest, Frank Lampard, we bottled it. We should have won that FA Cup. Now, let's have a look at the news, because I was getting worried that Arsenal Football Club was going after Victor Gyökeres, and I thought, Victor Gyökeres, I think that would have been a bit of a needle mover for you guys. But Benjamin Sesko, look, decent striker, don't get me wrong, but he could very much flop in the Premier League. I understand Arsenal have started moving initial concrete talks for Benjamin Sesko deal. He's always been high on recruitment team management. Mikel Arteta list with attempts to get deal done, rejected by Leipzig in May 2024 and January. Now Sesko will leave Arsenal on it. Look, I feel like Benjamin Sesko coming to Chelsea for Arsenal Football Club, it's not going to... I don't think it's going to make a huge impact. If Kai Havertz still continues to be your main striker, and Benjamin Sesko, looked upon as another one of those development project style of a striker, then he's going to probably take bench. Is he really going to take over Kai Havertz's position? Is Kai Havertz going to come into midfield? I don't think so. So it's I don't know. Arsenal fans, you let me know how you feel about Benjamin Sesko. Do you think he's ready to lead you guys to a Premier League title? Because that's what you got to go for. You got to go for a Premier League title with Benjamin Sesko. You believe this guy's going to deliver for you. I personally, I don't think so, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Arsenal are now on the verge of reaching an agreement with Gabriel Magalhaes over a long-term deal. Negotiations at advanced stages, as BBC reported. Understand deal will be valid until June 2030. This is a fantastic piece of business from Arsenal to tie him down till 2030. You'd think that potentially, if Arsenal don't win any major trophies in the upcoming 12 months, then players like Magalhaes, players like Saliba, they will definitely move on. Saliba definitely. I think Real Madrid's got their eyes on Saliba. Saliba probably max one more season left at Arsenal. After that, he's off to Real Madrid. So this is a big deal. And look, I hope Gabriel Magalhaes has thought this through. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal Football Club is a fantastically run organization, fantastically run football club. But ultimately, players, what do they cherish for? They cherish to win trophies. And Magalhaes, 2030, yeah, you better hope that in that time frame you win something. You have something to show for, or else you could get to 2030 and have literally nothing to show for in your career, which would be a shame. I mean, I'd love it, but it'd be a shame for Gabriel Magalhaes. But this obviously is a big news for Arsenal fans that Magalhaes is staying till 2030, which is fantastic for them. Next up, before we go into the Serie A news, another Premier League news, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive. Kolo Touré and Pep Lijnders are two options under consideration at Manchester City to be part of Pep Guardiola's staff. Decisions on new staff members soon following departures of Juanma Lillo, Inigo Dominguez, and Carlos Vicente. So, look, lot is changing at Manchester City. Pep Lijnders, ex-Liverpool. Kolo Touré, I think, was also part of Liverpool setup at a certain level. I don't know. I think he was also there for Celtic. Is that Leicester City that I see in the logo? I don't know. Yeah, looks like there's a lot of change happening with Manchester City because they just simply, look, they've won everything, right? Manchester City, with the setup that they've got currently, they've won it all multiple times, except for Champions League. They've got the one Champions League. But the season they had, the one that finished, they obviously don't want to repeat that ever again. Looks like there's some changes that's going to happen in the background. And people like Kolo Touré and Pep Lijnders, or Pep Lijnders might come and join Pep Guardiola's staff to freshen things up, I suppose, and move on from the last batch. These sort of things happen in football. These sort of things happen in life. Sometimes you have a group that brings a lot of success, but eventually that group has its expiration date as well. And I think that's probably what has happened at Manchester City, where they just need to freshen things up. Now, some Serie A news that I'm so happy about. I was getting a bit annoyed that Antonio Conte, why are you looking to leave just for once? Set aside your anger and your, the craziness, the madness that you have, which is, I like in one sense, but the other sense, every time he goes to a club, he wins a trophy and then he bounces off. But looks like, ladies and gentlemen, Antonio Conte is staying at Napoli, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see Antonio Conte continue at Napoli and watch how they do next season in Serie A, see if they go back-to-back, which I think now with Antonio Conte staying, it's probably a sure thing. And I'm so keen to see how Napoli does in the Champions League as well. I think, look, one of the biggest reasons of the rift that has taken place between Antonio Conte and Napoli is in the earlier this year in January transfer window, where Kvaratskhelia left Napoli and went to PSG, and Antonio Conte was desperate and said to the Napoli owners that you need to replace. For me to go and continue to challenge for the title, you need to give a replacement for Kvaratskhelia. They were very much linked with Garnacho. It didn't happen, and I think that was the fallout, that Antonio Conte felt that, how could you handicap me like that? I'm Antonio Conte. I'll win trophies, but I'm not going to be able to win trophies if I don't have the players. And Kvaratskhelia is a huge miss. And for Conte to still win the Serie A without Kvaratskhelia, and literally they didn't even replace him. And don't forget, Osimhen wasn't there as well. I know they got Lukaku. That's a big deal, because straight after January, Inter did come and take over the top spot. So, Napoli were leading. Inter came through after that kerfuffle that happened in January. And then right at the end, Conte got the ship together. And big ups to Conte and big ups to Scott McTominay. McTominay played a huge role in the second half of the season to drive Napoli to Serie A glory. So and ends up being MVP. So big up to Antonio Conte, and looks like he's staying. Looks like De Laurentiis is saying, I'm going to get you players. It's going to be a huge summer. And KDB is moving to Napoli as well. Breaking, Antonio Conte stays at Napoli. It was never over. He will continue. Agreement reached with President De Laurentiis to increase his salary and maintain same contract structure. Ambitious plan on transfer market and long-term vision. Conte stays. I am buzzing, absolutely buzzing. Napoli President De Laurentiis now meets Antonio Conte with club increasing confident to keep him. De Laurentiis will officially present salary increase proposal as revealed today. Not a new deal, only adjusting current salary, and also ambitious summer transfer plan. Look, all of this is beautiful for Antonio Conte. No change in the contract term, so I guess the current term will continue, but the salary will increase, and he's going to get an ambitious transfer window. He's going to get few players, and as I said, KDB is a big one. He's not going to go there and play every single game, but he'll play the most important games, especially in the Champions League. I'm pretty sure, Kevin De Bruyne, Antonio Conte will love a player like Kevin De Bruyne, 100%. There's no doubt about that. So I'm very keen to see how Napoli does in the Champions League, and I'm somewhat wishing Chelsea meet Napoli in the Champions League in the league stages. It would be unbelievable, man. It will be unbelievable to play Napoli. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, official Antonio Conte stays at Napoli next season confirmed. So a bit more news about that. We keep going stronger than before, says President Aurelio De Laurentiis. Massive news for the Napoli fans, or any Napoli fans that are watching this. Let us know your thoughts. Are you happy that Conte is staying? Because there was rumors that Allegri was probably going to come in and Antonio Conte was going to leave. But Allegri, ladies and gentlemen, is off to AC Milan. Massimiliano Allegri has just signed in his new AC Milan manager, as new AC Milan manager. Here we go. Meeting right now with Giorgi Forlani, Igli, Tari, Allegri, and Giovanni Banchini, with all contracts being sealed. Allegri's back to the club with agreement in place to proceed with new projects. So I believe, he was previously an AC Milan manager, I believe so, and now he's back again. Obviously, he was there with Juventus as well for a long time. All of these Italian managers, they just bounce around from each clubs. Look, AC Milan needed a change. That Portuguese brother, Sergio Conceição, it didn't work out. He was doing very well at Porto, but it needs time. Every manager needs time. But, at this level, especially a club like AC Milan, time is of the essence. You need to get back. AC Milan not that long ago won the Serie A, so and now all of a sudden they find themselves nowhere near that. So next season, I'm pretty sure under Allegri, AC Milan will bounce back. And look, I'm very excited about Serie A, man. Serie A is back again. I'm telling you, there's at least 7 or 8 teams in the Serie A that are doing so well. And don't forget, Como. We need to talk about Como. I need to talk about Fabregas very, very soon, because Como is doing well. And watch out for Fabregas, I think Fabregas will land a big job very, very soon. Very, very soon. Some are even saying maybe Fabregas to Arsenal down the track. Who knows? But I think Fabregas is lining himself up for a big Serie A managerial role sometime very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the latest that's happening all across the world, besides Chelsea Football Club news, which is go to my main channel, The Other Side of the Coin. Latest news in regards to Liam Delap is up there. But let me know your thoughts about everything in regards to Benjamin Sesko to Arsenal. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, everyone, take care, see ya, and smash up the like button. 100% smash up the like button. See ya. Bye.